All right, today we are diving headfirst into the action thriller Coolie, a film where pretty much every truth is built on a lie. And loyalty? Well, that's just another weapon. If you think you're good at spotting a twist, oh boy, this movie is going to prove you wrong again and again. So just how deep does this rabbit hole actually go? Our story kicks off with what looks like a simple tragedy. One man is dead. But that one event, it's not the end. Nope. It's the key that unlocks this insane labyrinth of conspiracy and a cycle of revenge that will have you questioning absolutely everything you see. Okay, to make any sense of this tangled web, we've got to unravel it piece by piece. We'll start with that suspicious death, then we'll infiltrate a criminal fortress, uncover an enemy from within, and follow the trail of a 30-year-old grudge all the way to its explosive end. So let's get into it. Let's start right at the beginning. We meet our hero, Deva. His whole world just gets shattered by the news that his best friend, a brilliant scientist named Sathyaraj, has died. So the official story they put out is neat and tidy. A sudden heart attack. Case closed, right? But Deva's gut is screaming that that's a lie. And when he finally gets his hands on the real postmortem report, it confirms his absolute worst fear. His friend wasn't sick. He was beaten to death. Deva's hunt for the killer leads him to one single place, a massive harbor in Visakhapatnam. Now, this isn't just a port, you guys. It's the personal kingdom of a totally ruthless smuggler named Nagarjuna. And inside those walls, his word is law. And Nagarjuna's operation? It is airtight. He controls 2,000 workers through his brutal enforcer, a guy named Daya. It's a complete black site. No phones allowed, you can only get in with a permit. And if they even think you might be a spy, you're dead. Simple as that. This isn't a business, it's a fortress built on pure fear.
So how does a guy like Nagarjuna make bodies just disappear? Well, he uses this, the electric chair. And in the most cruel twist of irony you can imagine, it was invented by Sathyaraj for clean cremations. When the government shot down the idea, Nagarjuna saw an opportunity. He blackmailed the scientist, forcing him to use his own creation to literally erase all evidence of the harbor's murders.
So just as Deva starts to figure out how to get into this world, he finds out that Nagarjuna's fortress is already starting to crumble, not from the outside, but from within. A message comes through for Nagarjuna. There's a mole in his organization, a police informant, feeding information to the outside. Now, for a guy who rules with an iron fist, this is the ultimate betrayal, and he moves to crush the threat immediately. And we're not talking about some low-level nobody. This betrayal comes from the very heart of his operation. The informant has been leaking secrets to the police for 5 years, and it turns out to be his most trusted, most brutal enforcer, his right-hand man, Daya. Nagarjuna's response is swift and merciless. He kills Daya himself. Then, in a twisted test of loyalty, he calls Deva, the new guy on the block, and gives him one order: get rid of the traitor's body using the electric chair. But just when you think you've finally got a handle on who's who, the story just flips the whole table over. In this world, the dead don't always stay dead, and your allies are definitely not who they seem to be. So Deva, believing the informant is a good guy, secretly lets Daya escape. But when he gets back, Nagarjuna shows him a video that completely shatters everything. It's footage of Satyajit's final moments, and the person beating him to death is Daya. The supposed hero, the police informant, was the real killer all along. The level of deception here is just mind-blowing. Daya isn't just the killer, he is the film's true villain, and the deception runs even deeper. Remember that young woman who was getting close to Nagarjuna's son? Yeah, she's not just some innocent worker. She's a police officer, and she's Daya's wife. They're a husband and wife spy team that has been manipulating everyone from the very start. But this brings up a huge question, right? Why is Deva so invested in all this? What's his real connection to this harbor? Well, to find that answer, we have to rewind the clock. Not by a few days, but by 3 decades. Okay, this timeline right here is the key to the entire movie. 30 years ago, a younger Deva and Satyajit were just workers, coolies, at a different harbor, run by a corrupt boss. Deva finally stood up to him, killing the boss's brother to protect everyone. In the bloody police encounter that followed, only a handful of them survived, including Deva and Satyajit. Now here's the final piece of the puzzle. That corrupt boss had a son who grew up, took over the family business, and has been hunting for the man who killed his uncle ever since. That son is Nagarjuna.
So, with all the lies exposed and the 30-year-old vendetta finally out in the open, the board is set. All that's left is the final, violent showdown where every single character has to pay for what they've done.
And the endgame is absolutely brutal. Fueled by pure rage, Daya murders Nagarjuna's innocent son. So Nagarjuna retaliates by capturing and killing Daya's wife. The two villains, in their hatred for each other, just completely destroy each other's worlds, which paves the way for Deva to step in and deliver the final judgment. Deva confronts both of the men responsible for all this chaos. He kills Nagarjuna, finally ending that 30-year blood feud. Then he kills Daya, getting justice for Satyajit. With both villains dead, the entire criminal empire just comes crashing down. But wait, the story saves its most powerful secret for last. It's about Satyajit's daughter, Shruthi. It turns out she isn't his biological daughter at all. She's Deva's. Forced to abandon her during his escape 30 years ago, Deva lost all hope. But his best friend, Satyajit, secretly found the child and raised her as his own, protecting her and giving her the life Deva never could. In the final moments, Deva makes a choice. He lets Shruthi continue to believe that Satyajit was her father, preserving the memory of the only man she ever knew as Dad. He chooses to remain her protector from the shadows, leaving us with this powerful question to think about long after the credits roll.